Hi everybody, Heather Coleman here, intuitive medium, Reiki practitioner, and yoga instructor. Welcome to our 3-card tarot reading for the week of July 3rd through July 9th, 2003. This week I'm going to be reading cards for you from the Angel Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine. And then I'll show you the cards now to give you a little time to feel into your own intuition on which card or cards may be speaking to you. It's possible that you'll be drawn maybe primarily just to one card. It's possible that you could be drawn to 2 cards. You may be drawn to all 3. Those of you that are drawn to all 3, notice which card or cards you are drawn more strongly towards, because the messages are multi-layered. There is so much energy and meaning into these readings. In fact, I recommend that if these readings speak to you, that you bookmark this video, refer back to it throughout the week, because the readings tend to unfold layer by layer for the best possible guidance for those that are connected to these videos. So here is card number 1. Are you drawn to card number 1? Here is card number 2. Card number 2, our Angel Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine. And here is card number 3. Card number 3. All right, so card number 1, those of you that are drawn to card number 1, we've actually got the Queen of Fire. And I'm guided here by the angels to talk to you a little bit about what the court cards generally represent. This has been coming up a decent amount lately. The court cards, meaning the queens, kings, the knights, the pages, generally speaking, most of the time, if a court card pops up for you, the card, generally speaking, is either going to represent you or someone in your life, or potentially both. So keep in mind, however, that especially in this day and age where there's more and more gender fluidity, if you're a man, that doesn't mean you couldn't have aspects of the Queen of Fire. If you're a woman, I may have a king. This doesn't mean that you're not the king simply because you're a woman. We're looking at the qualities and the energy and the messages that are connected to these cards. So let's talk a little bit about the Queen of Fire, card number 1. The Queen of Fire, generally speaking, represents someone with very creative leadership energy in ways that are traditionally thought of as feminine. So feminine, again, this is just sort of traditional throughout human history, usually is the leadership of nurturing, connecting, gentle communication, bringing people together to work harmoniously, building community. So when we look at the queen, generally speaking, we're talking about a leader who embodies those qualities, but not limited to those qualities. Now, the fact that we're in the suit of fire, that's energy, sometimes called wands. Energy is where everything begins, it is often said. So we're talking about creativity here. We're talking about the qualities of gentle, cooperative leadership, someone who is willing, happy, and able to consider the thoughts, opinions, and needs of all involved in something to bring everyone together for the best outcome, and someone who can do so in a very creative way. And let's look at the action steps on this card. And these action steps would apply whether you identify as the Queen of Fire this week, or maybe right away you're saying, oh, I know who that is. That's someone who has that influence in my life. These action steps would be the same regardless of whether you're feeling that this is you or someone you know. Stretch your wings and fly. You know, as adults, we tend to be the biggest obstacle holding ourselves back. Now, as children, indeed, we may have parents that do set limits, whether fair or unfair. It just depends on the family. But keep in mind that what we learn as children, we tend to subconsciously learn what the limits are and our own understanding and construct of the world of why those limits exist. So the Queen of Fire this week is encouraging you to Challenge your beliefs about what limits lie on you and what the real limits are and why you think these limits exist. Why do you think these limits exist? If they're bunk, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Stop underestimating yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So let's say you were drawn to card number 1 and you heard me talk about who could be a queen of fire in your life, and you thought, maybe it's someone I know and I really admire that person. You are like that person. Assert your independence and creativity, okay? You know, the other day, I asked my son what he admired in one of his favorite teachers, and the 3 things he said, I said, you realize you possess those qualities? So if you're hearing this message about stretching your wings and flying and asserting your independence and creativity, if you're hearing me say that and going, oh, I don't know how to do that, I'm scared to do that, start with what I just said, which is think of someone who you really admire that you'd like to be more like. Write down 3 things you really admire about that person and 2 or 3 things you've seen them do that you just think are so cool. And then tell yourself, I am those things and I'm going to do those things because I am that way. I embody those characteristics. So card number 1, people, step into your power. All right, so moving on to card number 2, we have another court card. And we have the King of Earth. For some of you, these are going to go really well together. So for some of you, you're being called to stretch your wings, get out there, assert your independence. The King of Earth, often, if it's you, let's say it is this week, is someone that has a lot of opportunities coming across their path. I'm going to read what's on here. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered, the Midas touch. So a lot of times in my work, when this card comes up, it is to give that person a message that this is the time that a lot of opportunities are going to cross your path. Grab them, take the bull by the horns, it's time. So again, you could see how that could piggyback on the Queen of Fire about stepping into your creativity with confidence and joy and drive. Now, let's talk a little bit about the qualities of the King of Earth. And again, this can easily be describing a man or a woman. So this could be you or someone close to you. I think there's a strong number of you this week that are drawn to this, that are going to hear this and go, you know, that does describe me and this other person I know. I see qualities in both of us that are described here with this card. So the King of Earth is someone who is often known to be generous, professional, responsible, and practical. So the king would be someone with more traditionally male leadership qualities, but again, easily can be a woman. And we're in the suit of Earth, so that's money and practical, physical. So the King of Earth can often be represented by a soccer coach, maybe by a parent who's very active and very physical and likes to do active things with their children. Also, the King of Earth is someone who is a great leader when it comes to making money, managing money, making sure there's enough money for the things that are needed. So this could easily be a leader, maybe the CEO or the head of a department at a professional setting, or someone in the home who is really good at making enough for what's needed and designating funds appropriately so that there's enough and maybe a little extra. So the Queen of Fire was a message to step into your confidence. If some of you were hearing this and going, boy, I don't think I'm that good at managing funds. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are the King of Earth. Own it. Step into it. Be the Queen of Fire. Be the King of Earth. And women, it's good for you to work toward being the King of Earth. If you struggle with confidence with your finances, the card you want to connect with is the King of Earth, because if you feel less confident about your finances, it's time to get into some male energy of, you know what, I got this. And there are times I'm just going to put work first and everything else can wait. It's harder for women to do that, generally speaking, than men, especially moms. But there are times, especially if you're a single mom, you just have to be like, look, work got to come first, folks. We got to eat. And that's what the King of Earth can do at certain points. can focus on the bottom line. What are the priorities here? Focus and focus on the ability to put our emotions to the side. So those of you, I think, that are drawn primarily to card number 2, or maybe only to card number 2, if you don't feel very much in control of your finances, strap on your belt. And the first step is to say, I've got this. I've got this. I'm going to figure this out. Write down your priorities, your expenses, write down your goals and say, I've got this. So the first step is to say, I am going to feel confident about my money, and then to get the emotions to the side. So let's say an unexpected expense comes up and you're understandably thrown off balance by that. Great. Process the emotions, put them to the side, figure your shit out. That's what the King of Earth does. So when it comes to money, bills, and finances, don't let your emotions run the show. That's what the King of Earth is really good at, is keeping the emotions in check. So card number 2, people, get your emotions in check when it comes to money. Now, card number 3, this will piggyback a bit on those, if any of you resonate with this message about, oh my God, money. We humans, that's like all we worry about. The 9 of Air, sleepless nights, anxiety, spinning thoughts. If that is happening about your money, it's time to sit down, write down your expenses, figure out a plan, ask for help if you need it, call your creditors, strap on your big girl or your big guy boots and get her done, okay? Some of you, if you were drawn to the 9 of Air, maybe this isn't about money for you. Maybe you don't know what it's about. Maybe you're up late, mind is spinning. So get a pen and paper, write down what's really concerning you, and put together an action plan for what you're going to do about the things that are worrying you. Get it off and out of your head and onto paper. Now, the 9 of Air is, again, from the suit of swords, or air, which is the mind, the intellect. Leaders often experience this, at least to some extent. Worry on your shoulders. It can lead to what's on this card. It doesn't have to. Expecting the worst, sleepless nights. See, that can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's why, and again, this is going to piggyback on the end of that card, King of Earth. Get your emotions in check. No one's saying don't feel them, but when you're feeling your emotions, start writing. Write your concerns, write your worries, so that your worries and your emotions are not running you. You are running the show. So if you're drawn to card number 3, deal with your worries, deal with your feelings. Maybe get a therapist, talk to someone you can trust, write down your worries. So that is our 3-card reading for the week of July 3rd through July 9th, 2023. Subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. Check out the Learn videos if you haven't already. And if you're curious for more, check out my website, heatherlcoleman.com. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.